Hello, students. Welcome back. So, we have already discussed the story, The Midnight Visitor, in two parts. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. So, we are going to deal with the question answers today. So, before we jump right into this question answer, we'll quickly revise, we'll see the summary of this story. So, there was a central character named Ozable, right? And he was a secret agent. He was staying in a French hotel, and a young and very romantic writer named Fowler came to meet him. Now, Fowler was disappointed to see Ozable as he was sloppy, fat fellow. His room was at the top and at the sixth floor of that musty and gloomy hotel. And when they both entered the room and Ozable switched on the lights, they found that a man was standing in the center of the room and he had a gun in his hand, and it was the first thrill of the day for Fowler. Now, the name of the man with the gun was Max. So he said that he had come there to snatch the report from Ozable, which he was expecting to receive. And Ozable remained silent and very cool, and he seemed to be angry with the management of the hotel. He cooked up a story about the balcony. He cooked up he cocked up the story about the balcony, and he told Max that there was a balcony just below the window of his room, and last month an unknown person had entered the room through that balcony. Now, Max told Ozable that he has used a master key to enter the door. Master key is the key which is generally the hotel management has it. They possess it. In any cases of emergency, they use that key, master key. Okay, so Max told Ozable that he has used that master key or pass key to enter into the room, and he wished that he should have entered through the balcony way, because it would have been much easier, because he might have faced many trouble to come into that room with the help of that master key. And there was still half an hour for the report to arrive. So they were waiting for the report, and there is half an hour, and Ozable correct him that 31 minute is going to 31 minutes it will take to come. And by that time when they were talking, there was a sudden knocking at the door, and Ozable smiled. He said it must be the police, because he himself had called them for the protection of such an important report. So Max was nervous. He just jumped through that window to the balcony, but there was no balcony, as Ozable had told him, Max. And he fell down to the ground from the sixth floor, and definitely he was killed. Right. So then the door opened, the waiter entered the room with a tray, a bottle of wine, and two glasses. Ozable had ordered for them. The waiter left, and Fowler did not know anything about the balcony, so he was afraid that Max would return soon. But Ozable told him that the fact that is he would never return, and because there is no balcony, and thus Fowler was much impressed by his cleverness and presence of mind. So that is what the story of the midnight visitor. Here the midnight visitor was Max, right? So we'll see the question answer. These are the questions from the textbook, and the same question is there, but it is as you know that the same question can be asked in a different way. So here I have the same question in three different way manner. So first is, how is Ozable different from other secret agents, and what great qualities made Ozable a successful secret agent, and how does he deal with Max? So these are the questions, and the answer could be the same. Audible is how Audible is different from the other secret agents. So Audible is different from the other secret agents in more ways than one. So there is not a single way, but he is totally different. He has a small room in the musty corridor of a gloomy French hotel. Right, it was on the sixth and the top floor, and it was scarcely the setting for romantic adventure. Okay, so it wasn't set into perfect romantic adventure. He was extremely fat, he was totally sloppy, and in spite of living in Paris for over 20 years, he spoke French and German with difficulty and had an American accent. So that's the thing. And instead of getting messages passed secretly to him by beautiful girls, he got only a routine telephone call making an appointment. Okay, so that is the thing. Other than that, this, as we talked in the story itself, that generally the secret agents, we have that James Bond kind of image in our mind, right? I hope you have seen the movies of James Bond. He used to play that secret agent kind of character, right? So we have that kind of image in our mind. And even this writer Fowler, he has the same image, but it was totally different. He was not he was totally fat. He used to live in a very musty corridor of a gloomy French hotel, and he used to live on the top floor. And you know, even his language, his dialect, when he speak French or German, it doesn't seems like the French or German. He generally speaks with the American accent. Okay. And even the messages, we have seen the movies of the spies and all these things. So we have seen that the messages used to pass secretly to the secret agent by the beautiful girls, but here it is something different. Very ordinary things happens. He just make a telephone call, and he just make an appointment with the help of that call, and then message is going to the report is going to come. So he is expecting that report. And in these ways, he was totally different from the conventional notion of a secret agent, right? And he dealt with Max by inventing some stories and convincing Max to act on them so that he could get rid of Max permanently. Definitely, he has made a story of balcony, right? And he gave the detailed descriptions of the balcony, that this room was the part of the large unit, and the next door apartment was uh, there is the hall, and there was the attached balcony, and the balcony was just expands through that window of this Ozable's room. So he has cocked up the stories and to get rid of the Max, right? So he is totally clever and witful. Who is Fowler, and what is his first authentic thrill of the day? So Fowler is a writer, and he had came to meet Ozable. And secondly, his first authentic thrill of the day came when he saw a man in Ozable's room pointing a pistol towards Ozable and himself. So that was his first authentic thrill of the day. How has Max got in? Max had gotten into the room using a pass key or the master key, so that is the only option because he didn't know anything about the balcony. If he would know earlier, then he would avoid this trouble to get that master key or pass key and to enter into that room. So that's the thing. How does Ozable say he got in? Now, according to Ozable, how Max got in? So Ozable said that he thought Max had got into the room through the balcony, and he said that it was the second time in a month that somebody had got into the room this way. Now, definitely, this is the fictional story, imagination story, imaginatory stories of Ozable, but according to him, he says that how Max got in, right? So, this is the answer. Okay, next. Ozable did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. What do secret agents in books and films look like, in your opinion? So, these are the thinking about the text questions. So, generally, secret agents in fictions are projected like ideal men, right? Tall, dark, and handsome. So, this kind of if we wanted to say that how does they look like, then we have this definition that they are tall, dark, and handsome. So they are usually well built. Yeah, right. Even their physical body, even it is well built and keep beautiful women for company. So that is the uh, general notion, common notions of the secret agent. And they would smoke a pipe like Sherlock Holmes, or cigar, or execute death defying stunt like James Bond. So they have this kind of qualities. They used to smoke like a pipe or a cigar like Sherlock Holmes. They execute death defying stunts. So they used to even stunt. They stunts a lot like James Bond used to do. So these kind of notions we have in our mind, projections in our mind. And movie based on James Bond shows high-tech gadgets uh, which assist the detective in countering villains. So even they possesses these high technological gadgets and instruments. And however, there are some exceptions to this appearance of a secret agent also. It's not like that they all like this also. A character named Faluda was created by Satyajit Ray, the famous Bengali filmmaker. And Faluda was tall, athletic figure who relied on his super analytical ability and observation skills. So there is even exceptions are there, but generally we have this kind of projections in our mind that the secret agents, even this Fowler has the same conceptions, the romantic conception of this secret agents, that they have a very sturdy, strong body, well built body. They are tall, dark, and handsome. They used to smoke, but something totally different was there in the case of Ozable. Anyways, next question. How does Ozable manage to make Max believe that there is a balcony attached to his room? Look back at his detailed descriptions of it. What makes it a convincing story? Okay, the convincing story. So Ozable creates a detailed descriptions of how his office was part of a bigger apartment and how the next room had a direct connections with the balcony. And his statement that right, and somebody also has broke into his office through that balcony earlier, This statement made it a convincing story, right? And Ozibel's ability to think quickly and calmly in a situations of panic makes it convincing. Okay, and he behave also, so he act accordingly, right? So these things makes Max believe that there is a balcony. Not even Max, but even Fowler also believed those kinds of stuff, right? So at the end, he also asked that the man will come out of that balcony if there is no police. They will shoot at us. But fortunately, Ozibel was very clever. So he has framed that story. He knew that I have framed that story, so that's the thing. Okay, so it's totally, he just cocked up the story of balcony in such a manner that Max believe in these stories. Looking back at the story, when do you think Ozibel thought up his plan for getting rid of Max? Okay, now that's the important questions. Do you think he had worked out his plan in detail right from the beginning, or did he make up a plan taking advantage of events as they happened? Okay, so the answer could be no. I don't think that he had worked out his plan in detail earlier. He took advantage of events as they happened, and Ozibel made up a story of the balcony outside the room. And as there was a knock at the door, he said that it would be the police. All this made Max desperate. He became restless, and without seeing below, he just jumped out of the window. Okay, so in short, we can say that Ozibel didn't plant everything. He didn't even made up that story. But somehow that knocking at the door, right, that made Max nervous, and through that nervousness, Max just jumped into that balcony. Though it was he even didn't look up that is there any balcony or not. He just jumped into it, right? He believed Ozibel completely. So that's the thing. And he never thought that someone would broke into my room, so he didn't it's not the pre-planned, right? It was completely accidentally. All the things happened immediately. Okay, why had Fowler wanted to meet Ozibel? So Fowler was a writer and he had wanted to meet Ozibel, who was a secret agent, and Fowler wanted to know how Ozibel tackled dangerous situations. Right, and he was disappointed when he saw Ozibel, as he didn't look like what Fowler thought a secret agent should look like. So he was not fit into any descriptions of that secret agents or a spy. So he was totally different, disappointed in him, and why he wanted to meet him to get that feelings, to get that thrill or adventures from this spy. Okay, next question. Describe Fowler's reactions after entering Ozibel's hotel room. Initially, Ozibel got a shock to see Max in his room. Definitely, Ozibel also got shocked when he sees Max in his room, but he remained calm. Sorry. Max also had a pistol with him, so Ozibel didn't try anything fishy. He just kept his cool and fooled Max by using his brain to invent stories. So he just became calm and cool in front of him, so he can, plan out something to come out of that situations. So he just planned accordingly. He didn't uh, act foolishly, right? He just remained calm and he act accordingly. He thought about it over and over. Audible shows great presence of mind in a situation of danger and surprise. Do you agree with this statement? If yes, then why? The question is Audible shows great presence of mind in a situation of danger and surprise. Definitely, anyone would agree with this statement, as Audible showed great presence of mind when Max pointed out a gun at him when he entered the hotel room with Fowler, which surprised and endangered both of them. The presence of Max surprised and endangered both of them, Oswald and their Fowler, and he remained calm and cool, inventing stories as required to fool Max into jumping to his death. Why did Max's face turn black with anger? What did he want Oswald to do? Okay, why did Max's face turn black with the anger? What did he want Oswald to do? Okay, Max's face turned black with the anger because he felt that his plan of extracting the important document from Oswald was in danger of failing due to the knocking on the door. So that's the thing, that his face turned black with the anger, which Oswald identify as the police, the person who was knocking at the door. Oswald said that he is police, and he wanted Oswald to send the police away. So that's the reason that his face turned black with the anger, because he says that you find that my plan of that grabbing, extracting the important report, right, to grab that report from Audible is in danger. So that's the thing, that Max's face turned black with the anger. Next question: why did Audible frame the story of the balcony? Audible framed the story of the balcony to counter the use of pistol by the rival secret agent Max to threaten him. The rival would have been able to get the important report about the new missiles if Audible had not concocted this story, right? So why he framed that story? Because it is the demand of the situations, right? It is the demand of that condition for Audible. If he didn't frame the story, then what would happen? That rival, that Max, right, he will just take the important paper report with him, and definitely they have the danger in front of them. The gun, the point of the gun is facing towards them. So that's the problem, and to overcome with that uh, problem, he has to frame the story to save the lives of both Audible and the writer Fowler as well. Next question: how does Audible manage to make Max believe that there is a balcony attached to his room? I think these questions we have discussed earlier, but let's see. Audible creates a detailed descriptions of how his office was part of a bigger apartment and how the next door room had a direct connections with the balcony. So his statement that somebody has also broken into his office through that balcony made it convincing story. So that's the thing, that why he has why was Max believe into this story, because Audible create a very detailed descriptions of the balcony. That is the first thing, and second thing is that he also state that someone in this month all in the month second time this happened, that a stranger or somebody just broke into my room through that balcony, right? So that's the story, and even the writer Fowler also believes in this story. Who actually had knocked at the door of Ozibel's room? Why did he come there? The waiter in the hotel where Ozibel stayed knocked at the door of Ozibel's room, and he had brought the drinks which Ozibel had ordered when he arrived in the hotel with Fowler. Right? So he was expecting the waiter only and the handling. That's it. Other than that, he was not expecting anyone else. He has even didn't ask any police protections even. So that's it for the now. I hope you understood the story very well. If you still have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you very much, students. Keep reading.